That's cool. If you prefer it like that, that's very cool. I can dig it. I can get with it. Boxing. Going to boxing today. Going to go box. Going to prepare to beat somebody up after a very long sabbatical of my time in a cage in a ring. You know, I haven't competed in any real capacity since 2019. Right around the time that I enlisted in the military. That being said, you know, I have been training since then. It's just, I came off of 2 pretty losses back to back, and I figured if I really want to make this work, I gotta do something different, and I've been looking for what it is that I want to do different, you know, what makes sense for me and the way that I want to fight and the way that I want to make money doing it, you know. And I think finally settling on something like bare knuckle, where it just makes a lot of sense for somebody like me and the way that I fight, and you know how much I enjoy just kind of throwing hands with somebody. It kind of finally took to fruition when the BKFC kind of started moving, and I had an interest, and it wasn't an interest that I was really pursuing too heavily, but it does make a lot of sense. And I've wanted to compete, and I've wanted to get back into it for a long time, and I've done grappling tournaments since and things like that, but I think that ultimately boxing is the right move for me, specifically bare knuckle, because of, again, how it lends to my fighting style. Very ruthless approach, you know. I gotta make everything a dogfight, which I do anyway. My car being loud is not going to particularly lend to the vlogging portion of this. Now I'm training at a new facility, and it's not that I didn't like the last facility I was at. It was really solid, really tight. It was way more MMA oriented than oriented to what I'm doing right now, and I think the move was finding a boxing gym and finding a trainer that would work with me on my stance and head movement and moving my feet and just getting going in terms of, you know, strictly boxing as opposed to kickboxing or Muay Thai or 1 or 2 nights a week of boxing when every other day out of the week is grappling oriented or a Muay Thai class, you know. And it's a lot more one-on-one attention in terms of what I'm working on and looking for in terms of my training. And it's been arguably just a better environment to sharpen the skills that I need going into a bare knuckle fight, which is kind of you know, it's foreign to me. I haven't fought bare knuckle since I was a kid, doing it illegally, obviously.
Yeah.
But it works out, and I'm excited, and I think probably on my next occasions that I'm gonna be out and fighting, I'm gonna clean their clocks pretty quick, pretty easy. It's gonna be an easy night. It's gonna be a quick night every single time, and you know, performance bonuses are gonna be coming. It's inevitable with as hard as I hit, and as technical as I am, and as quick as I am, and as well as I can flinch and prevent myself from getting damaged in the meantime, and just how good my head movement is and where I keep my guard. You know, it's a different game than what a lot of people are going to be prepared for. I stand with the protesters. you know, I stand with protesters in almost every single situation. I think corporate greed is one of the worst things that has ever occurred in this country. You know, if a $2 billion industry is paying its entire backbone less than $20 an hour, what are we really doing? You could pay 1,000 people $20 an hour for 40 hours a week, and you would not scratch the surface of what that place is making off of their labor.
Yeah.
Why are you so interested in making so much money? People will ask me one day. And my answer is going to be so that if I ever see somebody with a sign asking for food, I don't have to check my account and make sure I can help. I can just help. It's not about getting ahead in terms of my life or what I want, and it never has been. It's been every single time that I have seen someone in need, if I can do something for them, I do. Whether it's a friend, family, or a complete stranger that's, you know, in a rough spot in terms of their life, I think it's essential that as a society we need to take care of those around us. Otherwise we are a failing society. And that's what you see a lot now, is that society hasn't been as helpful as it needs to be to those on the fringes. You know, just because somebody's down and out or having a rough go of it doesn't mean they don't deserve to eat or should be hungry. We're a first world country with enough wealth for all of the people around us. Every single person that you see on the road owns a car, or they're leasing a car, or they have access to a vehicle. But still, you pass 5, 10, 15 people on the way to work that don't have a bed for the night, that don't have shelter over their head when it's windy or cold or raining. You see people that are starving everywhere. You see people that are addicted to drugs and don't have the means for help or betterment. You know, and I think there's a really disgusting discourse around the idea that addiction is a choice. Well, sometimes the first steps of addiction are a choice, and then the rest of the time it's not. It becomes a disease. The first step is a choice, but after that it's not. How many people do you know that have spent their entire life smoking cigarettes and have never been able to get off cigarettes because of how difficult it is to quit smoking cigarettes? Now that's cigarettes, that's nicotine, that is a low grade, you can buy it at any gas station around the world. And then we take it a step further, we talk about the opioid crisis. Do you know how difficult it is to get off of opioids? People regularly report that it feels like their skin's crawling from the inside out, you know? And there are treatment centers available to help people that want to get better in these circumstances, right? But these people don't have the means to get better. These people don't have the money or the financial availability or, you know, the plausibility of betterment, because nobody wants to raw dog getting off fentanyl.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that, think about, you know, how difficult alcohol withdrawal is for some people. When I went to rehab for alcoholism, I had a seizure. That's a regular occurrence for people withdrawing from alcohol. Alcohol and benzos are the only two things that you can die coming off of. But I promise every other drug going through withdrawal, if it has a physically addictive symptom of in terms of being able to fall through a withdrawal, you know, if there is a physical setback that accompanies the detox of it, it's so much harder to want to. And of course you're gonna spend $20 to get your next hit so you don't feel like dying, as opposed to spending $2,000 that you don't have to go to a rehab that you might get out of and be put back in the situation where you have no money and no help, and you don't have anything any type of support system around you, or social supports to try to keep you up and out of that hole. And as a first world country, we're failing these members of society that care to be better but don't have the means to be. Thanks, that's all. If somebody isn't passionate about the betterment of the lives of people around them, I don't think that's a person that has the capacity for empathy in terms of what could help heal the world. You know, we see out of the top, 120 billionaires that exist in the United States, or whatever it may be, every single one of them wants to be Lex Luthor, and not a single person wants to be Bruce Wayne. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Why aren't you fighting crime? Why aren't you actively going against the wealth disparity in our country? Why aren't you doing more to help the people around you? The Jeff Bezos Foundation has X amount of billions of dollars donations every single year, and not even a fraction of that, actually goes to helping anybody. It goes to sitting there and being a tax write-off for Bezos to proceed to do whatever the wants with that money at a later date.
Yeah.
Anyway, charitable foundations in this country are another reason that I've lost faith in capitalism. You talk about all the donations to St. Jude from all of these places. These places get all of this money in terms of donations so that they can use it as a write-off, and they donate it to a secondary charity that they're in charge of, that donates a portion of said proceeds from that organization to actually helping kids with cancer. So that's why if you see a Susan G. Komen or a St. Jude local Walgreens, you don't donate, because it's a write-off for Walgreens, and they're going to keep a lot of that money.
Yeah.
That's all it really is. Anyway, that's why I'm training. I'm training so that one day I can speak to people on a bigger scale than I can if I'm just some guy yapping on the internet. You're more than likely to encounter a larger demographic of people that listen if you're in a position of power. How many people listen to that Elon Musk talk just because he's rich?
Yeah.
How many people listened to everything Conor McGregor had to say before he was outed as a goddamn Double Champ does what the wants? Absolutely. Double Champ does what the wants, and that includes assaulting whoever he cares to, and getting away with it, and doing very little in terms of reparations to fix the situation, because the guy has money. I guess, being outed as a predator has done irreparable damage to some of the sponsorships and partnerships that he has, but the guy's still in a position where he's going to live the rest of his life comfortably financially, and he's not a good person. You can see it in his actions and in the way that he's fallen off so hard. What a fall from grace he's had. When people make too much money, they start to believe they're untouchable. Everyone starts to think that they're Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
You can't have that. Can't be that.